Commission meeting at 7:05 on July 8th, 2020.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, so we've got the three of us, Julie, we've got Tom, I'm gonna unmute him, and Fred.
Terry there?
No, I don't see Terry. Terry, are you on?
He sent me an email this morning saying that he was gonna be on, and then after
Yeah.
this particular one that he said he can't be on, then he cut out, so.
Yeah, I told him to come in.
Don't hit it again.
Okay. And Bill said he was
He's gonna be
coming
late.
on, but late.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people on here, I don't know who they are, but,
Okay.
all right, so, well,
We can't start the actual hearings until 7:30.
Right.
So the other portion of the meeting will go. So-
yes. So we'll skip down to number 2, since Bill and Rosemary aren't present. Maybe we'll talk about that later. So, we're talking about 123 rear, 7-Star Road, regarding a potential change to the plan. So I'll turn it over to you, Larry Kelly.
So, I'm Larry Kelly, Kendall Construction. Frank, I can't say his last name, is building this house. What we're trying to do, I think, is good for everybody here. We've cleared the lot, we've had our pre-construction meeting, we've had our erosion control inspection, everything's fine. What we wanna do is move the walls, move the house, and move the septic system back away from the wetlands. The way this happened is, Frank inherited the plan, someone went out and did a perk, and I see this happen all the time. You know, engineers just, do a perk and then they design around it. So, the two walls are about, it's a 20 scale plan, the two walls, the face of one wall to the back of the other wall is 6 feet. You can't even do it. It's the dumbest thing I ever saw. So, we're trying to get everything, not so much the walls. The walls will move back a little, but we're trying to get the house back 25 feet and the septic system back. What I did initially, when I discussed this with Frank, we went over and looked at all the houses to see if any wells were in a zone. And they're not. The houses across the street, the wells are in the backyards. So Bob Grasso, who Frank has retained, is gonna do a perk, and the soil's very consistent, it's rocky and pretty gravelly, kinda. So we're gonna move the septic back, the house back, and hopefully the walls back. It's a pretty simple, straightforward thing, Not changing anything, we're going away from the wetlands, and we're not gonna change anything else on the plan. The well's gonna stay in the same spot, and I'm not sure it even needs, the house, the septic's out of the buffer zone. A portion of the house is in the 100-foot buffer zone, but it's gonna be less in. So, we'd like to just show this on an as-built plan, which, when the foundation's done and the septic's done, it'll be further away. And all the items in the order of conditions, none of them change. Erosion control, maintenance, as-built plan, etc. And that's about it,
So, Larry, how much further back are you moving it?
We're trying to get 25 to 28 feet,
25 to,
28.
okay.
And hopefully, the septic system is up in a mound in the back, and I believe when we re-perk it and do a deep hole, we're gonna be able to lower the septic. We'll just make the grades better, you know? So basically, when you look at this plan, we're trying to go 25 to 28 feet away from the wetlands.
Why wasn't it pushed back further when they planned it, Larry?
Mike, engineers are engineers, okay? Right? You know, they're in an office looking at a piece of paper. What I'm assuming is, at some point, they went out and did a perk over this lot,
Yeah.
right? The whole thing doesn't make sense, it just should be back further. See the line of the, they show the setback line?
Okay,
Yeah, and then see the well radius from the guy next door? It's a circle. You can see the well radius next door.
okay,
So, see that septic?
yeah.
It's going straight back out of the well radius zone.
Yeah.
You know what they did? They did the perk first, and they worked off the perk.
It doesn't make sense, because when we permitted this, I don't know if you remember it, John, you know, we were concerned about the walls, you know, and the height, because they originally came in with one wall. And we had them break it into two.
Yeah. Well, what would really be nice if both walls move back a little, and the bottom wall goes from 6 feet to 4 feet.
Yeah.
So 2 4s. Much safer, much better, but you can't build one wall 6 feet apart from another wall
No.
unless you use a helicopter.
And, there's no planned access on Norah Lane, right?
No, zero.
Still.
Zero.
And
No.
again, that was just, they didn't want to negotiate some kind of thing with Norah, because it's private, right?
I guess so.
That was what I was told.
There's no redisclosing with the people that are in the front, because he's moving it closer towards them, or
Oh.
towards the well.
Well, yeah, I mean, is anyone on, listening from Norah Lane? Anyone have any comments on, what we're talking about, which is 123 rear 7-Star Road, which backs up against Norah Lane? Anybody have a comment on that? No, I don't see any comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my only comment I have, is do we need to get comment from the person that's at least there?
Yeah,
Because we're
well,
moving closer to them, so, I mean,
Which house are you referring to? The guy with the well radius?
yeah.
Oh, he's a sweetheart.
I'm willing to believe you, but he's not here, so
Yeah,
I'd
but
rather
it
hear
doesn't
from-
matter. It doesn't matter when, and this is important. You see his well radius? The dotted line?
Yeah.
He could build a barn right in that well radius, as long as it doesn't have a septic.
oh, okay.
You know, he can do anything in there. Frank can. Okay? The house isn't getting closer to him. It's sliding backwards, you know, outside that well radius.
Okay.
Yeah, he's all in favor of this.
Mike, this
Yep.
is Tom.
Yeah, go
So
ahead,
this is
Tom.
This is just a discussion concerning the wetlands, whether it meets the Board of Health requirements or any of the planning board requirements is out of our purview.
Yeah,
Just figuring about where it is in relation to the wetlands.
right, exactly. So, does Board of Health, are they on board with it?
Yeah, we're gonna do a perk. We came here kind of as a courtesy because we're doing the perk outside the wetlands protection zone, you
Yeah.
know, obviously.
So the reference in the permit would be to the new revised plan, though, correct? 'Cause
Well,
we've already signed off on the other plan, and this is obviously different.
yeah, well, I mean, all we're approving is moving the house, the walls, and the septic back.
Correct.
And what they will do, which is, you know, typically that can happen. And we don't necessarily require new plans, but we'll require an as-built to show us what's actually.
Yeah, no,
on-
I know, I think what he's doing is reasonable from the looks of things, and it's
Yeah.
not impacting anybody adversely, that, I don't have a problem with it just continuing. I just don't know what we do with the permit that we have with Rosemary. Do we have to reference his new revised plan or not at all?
Oh, no, I don't think we need to,
Okay,
yeah. Because he's already had the pre-construction meeting.
yeah, he's all good, okay.
You know, and he's been in communication with me over the past 2
Yeah.
or 3 weeks, you know, since you had the pre-construction meeting, you know, we've been talking about it, so.
Tom, did you have a follow-up of any? He's the strong silent type. Okay,
All right. So, maybe we should, make a motion and take a vote.
I move to allow,
Yeah, oh, hold on, go ahead, Tom.
Sorry, yeah, no, this time, no, all I ask is that we somehow mark up a plan of what he discussed as far as, you know, in general terms, he said he's gonna move back 25 feet. Can we mark up a plan so that we have something in writing for what we're agreeing?
his new plan has the new location in it, that's why I'm,
Do you have,
There's not gonna be a new plan until we get the permit,
okay.
which we know we're gonna get, and then we'll submit a new plan
oh, okay.
that shows it.
All right, that's fine. So he will submit, Tom, he will submit a new plan once they've done the perk to know absolutely where everything's going. Right now, it's just a concept, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is, right.
Okay, so nothing, no foundations will go in until we've seen a plan of
Oh, no,
exactly where the house
no.
is going
yeah,
and the driveway and all.
yeah,
Right.
that's good. So, did you make a motion?
I'm moving that we allow a revision to the plan to allow the house and the septic to slide back approximately 23 feet,
25 to 28.
okay, approximately 25 feet away from the resource area. I don't know what else there is.
The wall,
Yeah,
the wall, the house, and the septic.
walls are gonna stay about the same, but he's gonna change the distance between them, though.
Yeah, and hopefully, I'm looking to get them both 4 feet versus 6 feet.
Yeah,
You know why? 6 feet's a dangerous wall for a little kid, you know?
how would I
And
have
it'll
that?
be, listen, it'll be very easy to do 2 4s if the house goes back 25 feet,
Okay.
you know?
And the modification of the wall to or the potential modification of the wall to a smaller size and
Yeah. Yeah,
spaced more
so-
appropriately apart.
And 2 4-foot walls, Julie. So, is there a
I
second on
second
that?
that.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, great. So, just as a point of discussion, so the motion is basically to allow the house, septic, and to be moved back 25 to 28 feet away from the wetland and reduce the size of the walls. Any further discussion on this? Okay, hearing none, then we'll take a vote. And, let's see, we'll say, all in favor,
Aye.
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 Yep, Fred and Tom both said okay, so it's unanimous, Julie.
We don't need this, though, because we already have this in the files. This isn't modified, so.
That's our copy.
Oh, that's our copy? I thought you
Yeah.
brought it. So, okay.
Yeah, just
Thank you very
toss
much.
it
You're
over.
very reasonable, and it'll be good for everybody.
I'll reiterate that, thank you very much.
Sure.
Frank, what's your last name?
Galopin, Galopim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A new Groveland resident.
Yes,
Thoroughly excited.
Thanks,
Welcome.
everyone.
Good luck.
okay,
And
bye-bye.
I've got Center Street all under control. I didn't do the trees, but anytime you wanna go down, I've got replaced silt sock,
Yep.
everything.
Don't forget my other Center Street thing.
More rocks.
Yeah, well, and push them in.
Yeah, the parking lot.
Call me if you want, I
Yeah.
can,
No problem. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Night.
all right, so,
194 Main Street?
194 Main Street, which is Gary Caruso. Are you out, is that Gary?
Paging Gary Caruso.
I think he's there, but he's not muted either, but for some reason it's not loud. Let's see, is it?
Why don't you tell us what he's,
I will in a second, let me
Okay.
just see if I can raise the volume up here. Okay. All right. So, let's see, so Gary, is that you?
There's a little bit of a delay on the transmission.
Yeah.
It's weird to watch him stand
Yeah.
up and walk out twice.
All right, well, I'll tell you about it anyway. So, this pertains to 194 Main Street, which is directly across the street from Town Hall. There's a lot over there. It's pretty overgrown, and he wants to start building it. So he's going to start clearing out the brush, which it's most of what he's doing is outside of the buffer zone, so it doesn't really require any approval. And we already approved the plan anyway. We haven't had a formal pre-construction meeting, but he wants to change the plans. The plans call for a garage underneath with two driveways coming down on either side of
I remember
the
this,
house,
yeah.
down underneath, right? So he wants to eliminate those two driveways and have the driveways right in front, right off of Main Street. Eliminate the garage, which is fine, you know, but he wants to put decks on either side of the house.
on the sides of the house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, I want to look at the plan because I can't remember. Take a look at that.
All right. I think I recall this one.
Did you give me that back from 123? This one.
Oh, here. Yep.
He's gonna have, yeah, driveways coming in from both sides.
Okay.
Could be putting the driveways up, yeah.
Okay.
And then now he's gonna put decks over here, and then do the driveways in the front, and no garage. So no garage in the house anymore.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how you do that. But, where's the 100-foot?
The 100-foot is,
Because it's back here is the swampy area.
yeah, here's
Yeah.
the,
Resource area, that's 50 here.
yeah. The house ends up being about 75 feet
Okay.
or so. So,
Is it gonna be the new dark line? Is that gonna be the deck, or decks are back here, or the decks are on the side?
on the side.
Okay. So it's not changing that.
No. I mean, in the decks, are gonna be hanging off the house, you know, I mean,
Yeah, they're
there'll
not-
probably be two or three footings on the ground, but mostly it's, you know, on the house, so it's really minimal change.
It's pretty flat, too. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
This is really flat,
Yeah.
so, okay.
Yeah, once you get from the street down, but, you know.
Yeah, right
there
here is bad, yeah.
Is where the house actually is pretty flat.
It doesn't seem like it's gonna, if anything, it's a reduction in the amount of work that's being done.
Yeah.
Within it, but what do you think?
This has already been approved?
We approved it with the driveways coming in from both sides and nothing in the back. Now we're,
Yeah,
Putting the driveway up
this
to
is
the
another
front.
change request,
yeah,
similar to
it's almost
that
like the
one.
last guy, except for this is having to do
So-
with a new.
You know, entertaining change requests, technically, you know, we could ask them to refile
Resubmit, yeah.
again. But if it's a small change, and particularly if it's advantageous to the
Yeah,
wetlands or the buffer zone,
yeah.
you know, then
Yeah.
it's probably makes sense. I'm sorry that Tom and Fred can't see this plan.
I mean, I could,
I mean, they've probably seen it before, right?
yeah, I think both Tom and Fred were here when this was last in front of us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
I-
was,
I remember this coming in
it's,
front of, yeah.
I mean, if you've already approved it with all the orders of conditions, and this is a better,
yeah,
I
I
don't know
mean,
why.
again, similar to the last one, nothing on the permit is going to change. It's only the placement of a few things on that house.
Yeah.
So what we will again require is an as-built plan for the certificate of compliance so that we see, you know, where it ends up.
Is the
being.
footprint of the house gonna be exactly the same?
Well, technically, yes, because you just have these decks kind of hung off the sides.
No, I get that, I'm just saying in the back, there's a brown area, a brown mark and a blue mark, and I'm wondering what the brown mark is, it looks like if they're moving the house closer towards the resource area, then it's.
No, I don't
okay.
think so.
That's all I'm asking, because if it's not, I have no problem with it, but you see what I'm saying, there's a brown line and this is a blue line, I'm not sure what that is, or what that references.
I don't think that this part is changing. I think that these are the driveways.
Okay, and they're gonna disappear, and they're
Those are
coming
gonna-
up here.
Yeah, so basically, those are going away, and in their place, there's gonna be a deck over
Yeah.
here.
Okay,
I don't know if that could be a deck too, I don't know.
That's-
But
yeah.
that's not gonna change.
okay.
You know, I don't know. If
Yeah,
it's
I just don't wanna
wrap
see him
around.
moving, saying, I'm gonna
No,
build a bigger
no.
house, because we're not doing anything to the back, okay, that's
No,
fine.
he's not moving the
Yeah.
house, that's not gonna change at all.
Okay,
All right, so you wanna make a motion on that one, then we can go to the hearings.
I am,
you have 30 seconds to make a motion on this one, no pressure, I'm kidding.
I motion that we move forward with getting a as-built plan for the changes at 194 Main Street. That include moving the driveways from the sides back to Main Street
And allowing,
and allowing decks to be built off the sides of the house.
Yep. Second on
I'll
that?
second on that.
Thank you.
Any discussion?
Is that the as-built plan right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not the as-built,
not the
that's
Oh,
the
that's the,
plan.
sorry, not as, yeah, that's the
They
plan.
won't have the as-built till they do it.
Yeah,
Any comments from,
we understood what you meant.
from listeners here?
Is anyone here for this project?
No? Fred, you're okay with that?
Yep.
All right. All right, so I think we're ready to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I,
Yep. Fred, you're all set.
You.
Unanimous.
All right, the modification is allowed.
Okay.
I move that we turn to the hearing portion of the meeting at 7:31.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now we're open for our hearings. Let's see, first, I will go in order of what's on the agenda, and if somebody's not here, then we'll just put them to near the end. So, the first one is a continuation from June 10th of 2020 for the RDA, GRDA at 299 301 Main Street.
Hi, Mike. This is Lee. I'm on the phone.
Okay, hi
So-
Lee. Yep.
Yeah.
So-
can you put me on? Do you want to put me on at the end to discuss? So let everybody could go first.
No, if you want, we can do it now.
And do now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Alright.
we had our site visit a couple weeks ago and pretty much saw what we expected. You know, the site is somewhat overgrown, needs some work, and
The site was also marked for the 100-foot, which was directly behind the corner of the building. And directly behind the building that's the 100-foot, but we think that's not from the mean water line, that was just from the water line. Would that be correct?
yeah. So I have a question, Lee.
Yeah.
The plan that you submitted from Hayes Engineering, it doesn't seem to have any indication on there of the 100-foot or the 200-foot buffer zones. Am I reading it wrong?
They did not market it. Last time I told you from the edge of the river, and I told you about that distance. But did you say that 100 is from the middle of the river or from the edge of the river?
Well, it's a mean high water mark, I guess.
So mean high water market is
It's a steep slope though, so it wouldn't be
middle of
much
the
of a
river.
difference,
It's
to
in
be
the middle
honest.
of the river. There's
'Cause it's the river.
river is so wide that nothing would go to the edge of the property for 200. But if you say that it's at the edge of the water, that'd be pretty much every lot, everywhere in the lot is under. So the river is so wide, the river. And plus, means there's deeper means on the edge of the property to the river. It's not really affect anything for the river, basically.
Well, here's the
Right.
thing. Here's the issue. I think last time we discussed, you had 5 things you wanted us to review, right? So
Yes.
the first one was to remodel the building 301 Main Street at the current
Yes.
footprint.
Yeah.
Only doing internal and exterior work like door, window,
Yes.
and storage material. Okay, so
Yeah.
I think
Just have some
last time
Okay.
we pretty much said we didn't have any problem with that. So we probably, I mean, we haven't taken a vote yet, but we probably could agree to that as long as
Okay.
there was no exterior work like roof or siding to be done, which I don't think you're saying. Okay,
The roof already done. You already have
Yes.
last time. Yes.
right. The second thing you asked was for regular maintenance for both buildings to be done, like
Yeah.
heating system, electrical system, trim the brush. All of those, I think, again, would be okay. but then you ask to repair or pave the current driveway and parking area. So we'll hold off on discussing.
Just one thing, Mike, on trimming the brush, we just need to be very clear that
On-
that does not mean clear
yes.
cutting down to the river.
Yes, right. Well, what we can do
No,
is.
I'm not
R-
cutting anything in the Yellow River, no.
Right.
No, I understand. We've had things in the past where there was an understanding and then, we come back and everything's gone. So we
Yes.
just need to be very clear about what we're approving or not.
Right, so what we could do is, if we approve that, we could have Rosemary go and oversee it, or mark the trees, or mark the brush. There's a couple of trees there, which, I don't know if you recall.
I do, yeah, they're on the side.
We might want to exclude those trees. The third thing is the post office handicap ramp wanted to be modified to open up the entrance of the driveway, to repair the driveway and pave the front. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 is to add basically to work on a parking area at the back of the 301 Main Street building. And
And this area already cut before, already destroyed, plus parking is very important for this side, to meet the planning board requirement, and I don't have enough parking, and plus the town don't have enough parking in the downtown area.
Sure. And then the 5th thing is, you're talking about some kind of dock or float, seasonal.
Yeah. According to the Mass DEP, for the less than 600 square foot floating, small dock, it should be okay. The floating, less than 600 square foot.
Yeah. So did you get that permit I sent you today? I sent you an email this morning. You had asked me to send you a previous permit that we allowed.
I did not see the email. Hold on, let me open up the email. I did not see the email.
Is this for another floating dock that we allowed?
Yeah.
Where was
He had asked me to.
Yeah,
So
no, I'm
I-
just curious which one you sent him.
It was, I think it was 12 Merrimack River Road.
I think that was
It
not,
goes back to 2014.
okay, I was gonna say it's
done any-
before, yeah.
We
haven't had any
haven't done
floats.
any docks
Not since
like
I've been here.
5 years
Yeah.
at least.
Is it a
So-
special process?
I didn't
Oh,
remember.
okay. Okay, I saw your emails.
Okay, yeah,
Very
so,
much. I did not see it before, yeah.
so you can
Okay.
take a look at that, what we typically have allowed in the past. So, commissioners, here's my concern. The fact that we don't have a plan that absolutely says where the 100-foot and 200-foot are, and the fact that according to previous plans from the gas station cleanup, the entire site is within the 200-foot riverfront area.
Yep.
Okay? So I have to assume that that's still true, that the entire site is within the 200-foot. And a significant portion of it, probably at least 80% is within the 100-foot buffer, again, according to the previous filing. So I would have to say that everything except number 1 and number 2, the part excluding about, on number, paving
Number
the,
three.
paving the,
Three,
the part about
Yeah,
paving the driveway there, on number 2. So I would say the rest of it, we need to have a notice of intent filed where we actually have hard copy plans to look at where the 100-foot and 200-foot lie. Here's the reason. The reason being that, you know, the rules for 200 feet on what you can do as far as permeable surfaces are very important to pay attention to. I don't even know what the answer to it is.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna need somebody that really knows what they're talking about to help us through it. So what I would suggest is that we issue a negative determination saying that he can go forward on the interior work and the exterior work under number 2, and then everything else is a positive determination, and we need a notice of intent filed for those remaining work.
Yeah, but can you include in the number 3? Because number 3 is all pretty much just driveway area. Everything is paved over there.
Yeah, well, but the trouble...
Everything is paved, that means it's not something, it's not
Well,
paved. I mean, everything is paved over there.
Yeah, okay, all right, so let's, this is my opinion so far, Lee. Let's hear what the other commissioners think about allowing the, so he would like to be allowed under the RDA to make the handicap ramp smaller, basically. I think that's what he,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, everything is paved over there. Nothing will be affected the river over there. I mean, just let the driver people. Even you change the handicap, everything is paved over there. There's nothing.
But making the handicap ramp smaller is to increase access to the back of the land, which is within, easily, is clearly within the 100. So I don't see how we can do that without knowing that we're opening the door to further development that we think needs to become part of a
And plus, you saw that the planning board
That's my thought,
required me
anyway.
to do the handicap.
Yeah.
So if we ask me to do it and you deny it, I mean, how am I supposed to do it?
Just because the planning board says something doesn't mean that it fits what our rules are, you know, Lee, because we deal with the River and the Wetlands Protection Act. They don't, so, you know, plenty of times we disagree.
And it may not be that we're not going to allow you to
Oh,
do
yeah.
that.
Right.
It may mean that you need to file formally concerning that.
Right.
Can I ask a number 3? So it is strictly in front of the post office and the
Yeah, everything
handicap.
is paved.
Right, no, I understand. What I'm trying to understand is what exactly is being asked. Is the handicap ramp being removed and all work would be between the building and Main Street? Or is this going to
No.
extend into something else?
No, just the above the wall of the post office, extend a little bit, 2 or 3 foot over there, and to cut down. Then move the handicap means to change it. So we'll have the more entryway going to the side. And so this would be good for the planning board asked me to do that, and also would be good for the town people going to the post office, and also good for the people. I mean, who for the drop off the clothes over there. The back of the lot have the town means the town lots over there, and the people have drop off clothes. That makes it wider to everybody over there.
Mike, is there like even a hand sketch of what exactly is being
Yeah,
asked?
I don't know
Yeah,
exactly.
I
what
already
it's-
have the drawing. What engineering drawing already done?
Hold on.
I put the drawing over there, yeah.
Hold on a second. Let's see.
On the email, I emailed to you on the page number 4.
Page number
The
4.
one, yeah, page number 4.
Yeah.
So, and it's already.
Okay. Okay, let me bring that up on the screen here. Hold on a second. lousy picture here.
Can you share your screen, Mike?
Yeah, except you're gonna be severely disappointed.
Oh.
Here, this is the ramp, I think. Let's see, I'll share it. All right, hold on a second. Where are we?
So the ramp's gonna go where the trucks go to pick the mail up?
I think he's trying to make it smaller though, right?
Doesn't it have to be a certain size by law?
Or ADA? I mean, there are ADA regulations.
Right.
No, that's not it. I can't get it back. What happened?
Not much change. It's only about 2 or 3, 4, 2, about 2 by 6 area.
My Zoom thing disappeared. It's here, but I can't bring it back up.
Can you go to the other one, other side there? To the left there?
I don't
Instead of
understand.
going to Tom, go to the other one?
Yeah, that just brings up that
You-
screen.
Do you want to email it to me, Mike? I can share it? I
Uh,
assume it's a PDF or something like that, or?
yeah,
Yes.
hold on a sec. Why is it doing that?
No, I can't get online at all.
There is a town.
Oh, there it is. No, that's not it.
I know, I tried to get on and it's something with the server.
Here it is. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so let me share my screen. Yeah, where is it?
Right in the center there, it says share screen.
To be on the bottom green.
Yep.
All right, you see that?
Yes. I understand your concern about the quality.
I mean, I can see where
So
the,
here's my thought, and this is for other commissioners to debate, but I guess if I think about it, it's work that's happening between the river and the work, there's a building.
Yes.
Now, what concerns me is where is material stockpiled, or if at all, and for how long? And the other thing that concerns me is, are we setting a precedent that we're allowing excavation type work, which I'm assuming, maybe it's not excavation, maybe it's just cutting some concrete. Are we allowing something like that without an NOI?
Well,
And are we setting a bad precedent by doing that?
I believe that ramp is outside, based on, previous, but I don't know, but based on previous, it's outside of the 100-foot buffer. The only thing that concerns
Okay.
me is that within the 200-foot buffer, a big thing is permeable surface.
yeah, I
And
agree.
if you're changing the surface, you wouldn't necessarily want to allow that without examining it. Not to say you couldn't allow it, but you could. But, we're kind of in the dark right now because we're just guessing on everything. On the other hand, I don't think he's creating any more permeable surface by cutting part of that handicap ramp off. He's going to cut off the end of the handicap ramp and pave it there.
Right, I think the concern would be impermeable.
So is the
surface.
ramp going away, so there's just the steps now in front of the building? Is
No.
that what the,
He's
No,
making
no, rapper will be still stay. Just change a little bit. Yeah.
he's making the ramp smaller.
But I
so
don't
he's
see,
changing it from a concrete ramp to putting asphalt down once that part is removed?
Yeah, right.
I guess I don't understand where the ramp's gonna go then. I mean, I don't see, this is I know I can see where the spot is, but I don't see how this diagram's anything having to do with where the ramp's gonna go. Is it going on the side of the building?
And do we want asphalt right next to the river? I mean,
Well, it's already impermeable.
Right, but that's suboptimal.
No,
Just-
it isn't, but
I'm not,
I think at a minimum, Mike, we at least need like a are there like dimensions on here with like a hand sketch of what is being changed, so we have something in the record?
Yeah, it's already in the drawing, in the page 4. There's engineer already get all the design over there.
Oh, okay. Can you switch to that page, Mike?
Which page?
Page 4.
Page 4? That's page 5.
that's what we are on, page 4. That's 5.
There's 4.
No,
That's 4, right?
5, it says at the top 5. So go the other direction. That's it.
Oh, there's.
Be-
That?
Yeah, that's page 4 of what he's,
Is this the one you're talking about? Oh, I see, yeah, you're right, it says 4, right? Let me turn it.
Pretty good at this.
no kidding.
And let me,
Can you add a whole lot of zoom, please?
that's not what I want to do.
Okay, there's the post office.
All right. Oh, okay, so Lee, you're saying to, you're only on a phone, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're cutting out this portion on that page, right, where you've got the existing one-story brick building and you show the ramp there, you've got a piece marked off that you're gonna cut off completely?
Oh, so which side? You talk about, yes. You talk about the different page. Okay. But I thought did you open the file? I sent you yesterday, last night, or
Yes.
the previous one?
No, this is the one you sent me, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I marked it over there before. I mean, just say that I cut it one, and just cut the handicap ramp to level, to same as the wall, the post office wall. That's.
So right here, is this what he's talking about, Todd?
Oh, you are on page 8.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, but, man, I don't know anything.
So the
Yeah.
edge of the, Lee, is the edge of the ramp going to be right up to the wall of the post office?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we're looking at what your plan is there. So that's a pretty small change.
What about 2 by 8, 2 by 6, about 2 feet by 6, 2 by 6 feet. I mean, I can do all the control. I mean, you want. I mean, then make sure all the dust don't go through anywhere. I mean,
Yeah,
just
right.
remove it, I mean,
Right.
You know.
So he's talking about 12
Yeah.
square feet.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that, assuming it meets
ADA regulations.
ADA regulations. 'cause I
Well,
mean,
but
like-
that's not our concern.
No, I know, I'm just saying, he is okay with me to go ahead and do, because, I mean, it seems like the pitch is gonna change. And I don't know, if, I mean, I would hate to.
Might run longer because of the pitch.
Yeah.
Did you approved, passed by someone who knows about ADA, Lee?
Yes. The design, engineering design already approved by the post office. It meets the standard handicap. Standard.
All right. So I guess I would withdraw my opposition to that one.
So I
I
will
mean,
have
but-
a very good control. I mean, nothing will be affected railway anything. I mean, there'll be all the concrete, everything. I mean, just to remove all the dust, make sure everything is clean. I mean, every day.
Yeah, I mean, we would have you put some kind of erosion controls around the limit of work,
Okay,
you know?
that's fine. That's fine.
It's pretty minor.
No, I agree. I mean,
but
now
he's
that I can see what he's
repaving.
talking about.
He's repaving also, though. That's the step where he removes that and then paves.
Yeah,
We're
but he's
okay
only
with-
gonna repave that 12 square foot area. It's like putting a patch on it. I mean, we're gonna take a vote. So,
Are we gonna,
vote the
are we
way you
voting on,
wanna vote.
are we gonna vote on each of these
Yeah,
5 things individually?
We'll do each one of the 5.
Okay.
Can we add stipulations to a vote?
Yeah?
I mean, I assume you're gonna send, if whatever we approve would go in the form of a letter,
Yeah, right.
conditions, okay.
We can't, can we add concerns about whether it's a permeable or impermeable surface? I mean, I know what it is right now, but maybe we should bring it up to date, considering it's right next to the river, as an impermeable surface with runoff concerns. I mean, it's the Merrimack.
Yep. Well, that could be part of the motion. You could add that paving to be done with permeable hot top or permeable
There is
material.
such a
There
thing.
is.
Okay.
All right.
We're only doing these concerns for the ones that are negative determinations.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, the ones that are
Positive,
positive.
it just, we're done. There's no discussion on the ones that are positive determinations.
Okay, so
So-
we're changing this one to a negative determination.
Well, we're gonna talk about each specific one that he's asking for, and then we'll be specific with each single one. I'm just clarifying that if it's something that we vote that it's a positive determination, there's no more discussion, he has gotta go,
Okay.
so.
All right, so
Are-
I'm gonna go
What,
back to his.
is anyone else
original-
here on this?
Nobody else is saying anything that I can see, but.
Okay, I'm just,
But,
Fred, do you have any questions? Are you doing the zooming?
I'm gonna go back to the first page.
Okay, I see.
So this we can see.
Okay, so we know what we're looking at for
Yes.
each one. Okay.
All right, so we'll take each one of these one at a time. Let's see.
Remodel 301 at its current footprint,
Yes.
which means changing the door of the same type. I don't know what exterior storage material is.
What just happened?
It's Mr. Lee, is that his name?
Yeah.
Mr. Lee, can you tell us what the exterior storage material is?
What'd you say?
I'm just on the first one of the 5 that you're asking for. I'm trying to understand what you're saying by and exterior storage material. That you're gonna, what you're asking for on the first one.
Windows, et cetera, and exterior storage material, and a dumpster out near canopy. Oops.
Mike, did you hear the question?
Yeah, sorry, just having some problem with my computer here.
Yeah, your screen froze for a second, and everything went quiet.
Yes, right. I think we're back.
Okay, let's go over to the list that was on page 1 of what you were at.
Yeah, I'm not gonna share the screen this time. because
Okay. He's got numbers items 1 through 5, and the first one reads GRDA vote, remodel 301 Main Street at current footprint, which including exterior, light door, windows, etc., and exterior storage material, and a dumpster out near canopy. They will be in front of building, nothing at back and near water. So I think this is the one that Mike was first talking about, that we were saying that we're allowing, or that the proposal is that we're allowing basically cleanup of the existing building without changing the footprint. But I was trying to understand what the exterior storage material part means.
Yeah, what does that mean, Lee?
No, it's just temporary. Maybe some building material, for example, some building
Okay.
material cannot put inside, you have to put it outside for one night, two nights, sometimes you just never know, I mean, to put
Yes.
building material, right? You
Yes.
cannot put
Now-
anything.
When you say like door in the windows, obviously there's the big doors, or the big doors which were from when it was a garage. I presume you're not asking to change those, but you're maybe looking to update those?
I'm sorry, did you ask me a question?
I
Yeah.
did, yeah.
So what was the question?
What are you doing with the garage doors? You gonna change those out?
Don't know yet. Maybe
Uh,
we'll change it out. We don't
yeah.
know right now.
Oh, what are you gonna put in, you're gonna put other garage doors in, is I guess my question.
He doesn't know.
Okay,
But that would, as long as he's not, changing windows and doors, that's allowable.
okay.
So I would make a motion on number one that we issue a negative determination on that one. Is
I
there a
second.
second?
Is there any, well, on this one, if we're doing a negative determination, are we doing any caveats, or?
Unless you want to add any to the motion.
Well, I'm just saying in terms of storage, material to be stored outside the,
I mean, what we'll do is, what I would suggest we do is issue a letter outlining each thing, what it is specifically that's being allowed
okay,
under our Groveland RDA.
right.
Under the DEP RDA, there's really no place to do that, but we can do it under the local permit portion.
Okay, so as to where we're allowing storage of material to be, and if it's gonna, if we're gonna, I don't see much erosion control is gonna be necessary on this one since it's so flat at that portion, but, okay.
Okay, any other comments on number one?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
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 I did, sorry,
Okay,
thank
that's
you.
unanimous. Okay, number two is regular maintenance for the two buildings, like heating system, electrical system, trim brush, repair, pave the current driveway and parking area. So I would make a motion that we allow everything, issuing a negative determination except for paving the current driveway
And parking area.
So the wording used was maintenance?
Yeah. So he's saying, it's kind of mixed up because it says regular maintenance like heating system, electrical system.
Right, I guess maybe we say something like internal maintenance to the building.
Yeah,
I
right.
I get
Right.
concerned that maintenance could be, I don't know, something much more than what we're anticipating.
Right, like the brush trimming that you were
I
talking
mean,
about.
maybe in the letter,
Specifying.
if we approve it, does that sound reasonable to
Yeah.
put internal maintenance of mechanical systems and whatnot?
Yeah, but the driveway have a big pothole over there. I cannot do any repair work for the pothole.
No, because again, you're talking about changing the impervious surface within the riverfront area, and we don't know where the riverfront area is.
If it's contained, if it's a pothole contained within the existing parking lot though, is that?
Yeah, it's in parking lot. So that don't mean if let's just assume everything is 200 feet. If I have a pothole, I just cannot fix anymore.
No, Lee, that's under this permit. We're not saying you can't do it. You just have to file a notice of intent with us.
So every time I have a pothole, I need to file notice again. Every year I have a pothole. Every year I have to file notice of intent for fix the pothole on the driveway.
No,
It's a good
no.
question.
You've got a whole bunch of things here, and we're including them all in it.
Yeah, but that's including the driveway repair. This is just normal repair work because the driveway in the winter time, the clean the snow. I mean, the trucker maybe get make a hole over there. I mean, I cannot every year apply for the notice of intent. Does that cost $1,500 to repair a pothole for 2 by 4 feet pothole? Every time I have to apply to spend $1,500 to apply for the notice of intent.
No. You can, he can repair potholes, but you have in here pave the current driveway and parking area.
Okay, what about
And like the parking area is also behind the building is what he was talking about, which we're definitely not allowing that.
Usually just pave a little bit, just try to make it smoothly. I mean, you being over there, you saw that driveway was especially in the entry point, it's very bad shape. Maybe I don't pave anything at the back. I only pave anything just before the middle of the post office.
I know, we're discussing each one.
After handicap ramp fixed, we'll just pave this section in front of the lot over there.
Okay,
But we don't know where the 100-foot is, though. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
no, I know. But
Okay.
I'm gonna withdraw my motion and say it a little differently. So, for number 2, I move that we allow all internal maintenance, trim brush as marked, and repair the current driveway.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
That's my motion. Somebody want to second that? You don't want to second it?
I don't, when we say the current driveway, I mean, his opinion of what the driveway is versus the parking area is very blended to me in the terms of, I don't understand what he's, because to me, it sounds like he wants to repair the back of it as being a driveway.
No,
So,
no, but that's not the current paved driveway. So repair the current paved
okay,
driveway.
I'll second that. Okay, that's fine. And brush is gonna be as marked, is that correct?
Yes, right.
Okay.
Trim brush as marked, repair current paved driveway. Repair, I would interpret that as there's potholes, you come in and you fill them in, right? All right. So there's moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Okay, number 3 says, the post office ramp modified to open the entrance of the driveway. So I'll move that we allow the handicap ramp to be modified, according to the plan, removing up to 12 square feet and paving it.
I do, I have concerns about
Well,
whether,
what do you want to say? Impervious with pervious pavement?
with pervious materials.
Yeah, all right.
Isn't it asphalt all around it?
I know, but can we,
He's-
is asphalt a good idea next to the river, and why, if it's,
My thought is there's asphalt all the way around it already, that you're not like, you'd be creating an island of pervious material surrounded by
and
asphalt.
maybe that's not bad, because I know, it's right next to the river, and I have concerns with creating more impervious surfaces that drain to the Merrimack.
Okay, so here's the motion. Allow removal of up to 12 square feet of the HP ramp, of the current HP ramp, and replace it with pervious surface material.
Second.
Sound
I
all right?
second.
All right. All in favor?
So I keep,
All in favor of this?
Aye.
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 Okay, unanimous again. All right. Number 4, add parking in small park at the back of 301 Main Street according to downtown study, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I motion that we issue,
what are you concerned, and, Mike, let me ask you, what are you concerned about at the back? I mean, how do we, you know, we have to pave a little bit, and then we put the parking, and then we put the parking, and then we put the use the back better, what are you concerned, how, any other suggestion we can try,
Our concern is whether this is a positive determination, that's all it is, and
all the brush,
he has the right to come forward with it at that point.
Well, I think the concern is what we've already expressed, Lee, and that is that we don't have a plan that shows us where the 100-foot buffer is, where the 200-foot buffer is, and you're asking us to put, a driveway or a parking lot within that, and we're uncomfortable doing that because we're working blind. We don't know where the
I know
200-foot.
I know it's within the 200 feet.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of calculations that you have to go through when you make changes to something that's already within the 200-foot buffer zone, and we don't have that information right now. So what we're gonna,
I tell you,
what we're gonna ask
That's
is that you file a notice of intent with us and present a plan that shows us where the 100-foot buffer is, where the 200-foot buffer is, and to do all the calculations that are necessary for the 200-foot buffer under the Rivers Protection Act. That's all. That's what we're gonna want.
And specifically what you're gonna do within those.
what calculation you talk about, I stated, I don't want to pave it, or any suggestion, maybe just not pave it, just put a question over there, that will not affect the environment, so because a lot of,
Yeah, but you
close
see,
the area, close to the river already paved,
yes,
you see that
I
parking lot.
understand that, but our bylaw also says that there's no commercial or industrial building within the 100-foot buffer. So you're talking about putting a commercial driveway parking lot within the 100-foot buffer. And I'm not
But
sure
what
we
about
could
if-
allow that.
Particularly when it's his markers that show it's
Because
already
if
within that
commercial-
space.
If it's residential, I can put a parking over there.
No,
not necessarily.
not
but there's-
necessarily. because
There's different rules. I mean, that's just the way the law is written.
To protect the environment.
So we're just trying to follow the rules.
All right, so,
Your motion was for a positive determination on item number 3, no, I'm sorry, item number 4
yeah,
regarding the parking.
requesting the filing of a notice of
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion on that one? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 But what kind of calculation you talk about? What do I need to provide you? And I just said everything's under it's the parking area at the back of the building is within 200 feet. So what else you need to know? What make a difference? You make.
I think you should, since we're now saying that it's something that requires a filing, you should talk with Rosemary as to what specifically we're looking
So
for.
when you will allow me to have the parking, when you will not allow me to have parking, I don't want to spend $1,500 and you
Well-
know what I mean.
I think you're gonna have to get the services of a wetland scientist and perhaps even more than that to tell you what you can do, because it's a complicated, I can't even explain it. We are not going to be able to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. What we're gonna do is you're gonna come in with your scientist and your engineering firm to say what you want to do. Those people are going to tell you what they think you can do. They're going to explain it to us, and we're going to try to understand it, and we may hire someone of our own to help us through it before we write up a permit for it. Unfortunately, that lot is in a terrible location. It's got a previous building on it. It's like, this is about as complicated a thing as we've ever done.
It's not uncreated, it's a history, it's like this, it's nothing I can do it, it's already existing, and when they built bridge, they already parking the car at the back, I from Google Earth. Back, they already parking the car over there before.
Yeah, it was done illegally.
Well, I don't know, I mean, the legal,
I mean, our environmental laws.
but what
are
I
supposed to
mean
be
is,
good.
it's previously already used there, I mean, you asking me to do all these scientists, listen, and it's already cost me about over $70,000 to go to the planning board engineering. I don't want to spend another $70,000 for the planning. And I don't have the money to spend the $70 and try to figure out what it is just a loss, I don't know what, it's something very obvious, at the back of the building over there, and you have the parking, near to them everywhere, even this lot at the back of the post office, parking area already far from, already, this at back of the building already much far from the river than the current parking area. If you see the, the building over there, along the main street, or you talk about the plumbing place, they have the parking next to the river,
I think that the difference is there's a lot of places in town that historically, whatever, 50 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever, something was done. It is what it is at this point. But if you're trying to do something new, you need to adhere to the current bylaws.
I try to show you it's not new. I saw the picture.
But
I saw the picture. The people already parking over there before.
But it's not there now, correct?
It's just because nobody used that building. That's why it's not parking over there. But before already parking over there.
I think that for the sake of moving
Already
forward,
have the car parking over there.
do you want to go on to section 5, or section 5 is
Already
it?
disproved.
Make a motion, please.
Okay, we have to move then? I move that we go on to the fifth request
Let's have the
regarding
extra
the
parking
private
contact
float.
number, so the planning board will not, say I don't have enough parking. Right now, they say I don't have enough parking for the site.
Mr. Lee, I think that we've already voted on this. In fact, I know we've already voted on this, and we've been clear that we're not saying you can't do this. We're just saying that this is not the appropriate time for you to be in front of us doing this when we've already issued a positive determination, which means you have to file. And now we're going to go on to the fifth item that you're requesting, which I'm going to make a motion that we also issue a positive determination on the private float, seasonal small dock, to go out into the river.
Okay, I'll second that.
Does anyone have discussion on
What
it?
do you need for the voting? Why the voting have to do the notification? What information you need for this?
Well,
I saw the states are long it.
that's why I sent you that email this morning with the permit. See, that permit was issued under a notice of intent filing, so that's what we want, is a notice of intent filing for the dock. I mean, what you can do is you can file one notice of intent to cover all of these things. You don't have to file separate notices of intent. All right, so we're ready to vote on this, I think. So all in favor of a positive determination on number 5, the dock, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Aye.
All right.
Anyone negative, or anyone?
No,
So
we're
let me
unanimous.
ask you, the
Yes.
notice of intent, if commercial use
I know Mike
costs
said
much
that.
more, like commercial is 1,500. If residential use will only cost 350, right? 300, right?
Yeah, I mean, the price is different, definitely. But you gotta go back and look at your plans.
Okay.
All right,
If I have residential use and it will be applied as a residential, it's just private residential.
I missed that, Mr. Lee. I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
He was just saying the permitting fees are
Oh,
different
yeah,
for
they're different.
industrial and commercial buildings
Yep.
versus residential.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
so,
You wanna move on to,
yes.
But
Yeah.
is the boat, if I find a note of intent, the boat, the floating boat should be okay, right? You can grant for note of intent for the dock, correct? For the
Well,
floating one.
The part that we have jurisdiction on is the part that it's connected to the land.
the dock?
Yeah, I mean, you can have a floating dock, it's just that if you connect it to the land, then you gotta
Yeah.
file a notice of intent with us.
But what I mean is, if I buy it, are you going to approve it, or you still have to do the scientists have to do anything, or
Harbor
just
master issue, wouldn't it?
straightforward? I mean,
He said that he approved it.
because
It's a floating
I thought
dock.
this is my right. This property has the lower ground, and it should ground for the small floating dock. Property owner should have the right to do that.
We're not saying you don't have the right, we're just saying you gotta file for a permit, that's all.
Okay, when I buy the dock for permit, what kind of information you need
Well,
for the dock?
I can't really go into it, other than, again, for the dock in particular, you know, we're concerned about where it connects to the land, because that's within our jurisdiction, the buffer zone, and so you just have to address, you know, what you do with that. It's fair, it's pretty easy. If you were just filing for a dock, it's not a terribly hard notice of intent, because the impact is pretty minimal. But again, I don't know, you know, what your idea is, so it's hard for me to say.
And isn't it, Mike, I am not 100% sure of this, but isn't it either the harbor master or the Corps of Engineers there's other filings that are needed
Yeah.
for a dock?
Well, he already spoke with the harbor master, who said that he doesn't need to get a Chapter 91 permit. So if we get
Okay.
that in writing, you know, then we don't have to
Then we can
worry
put
about
it
that.
Okay.
No, the harbor master Mike told me, I mean, it should be very easily, because I have the lower front right, I mean, and it's less than 600 for the 620 square foot for the floating one. It should approve it,
Well, again,
like everybody else.
we're not gonna, we have no say on the dock and what's in the water. The only thing we have a say on is the connection to the water. And so there's ways to minimize it.
Access down to it too.
Yeah, yeah. I
True.
mean, we've had other people, they've got amazing
Okay.
docks, and they did a very minimal connection to the
Yeah.
ground, and then it's
Yeah,
a
it's
matter
fine.
of like 2 holes that
Yeah.
they're digging, which is easy to permit.
Right.
So, you know, that, out of everything that you're proposing, I would say the dock is probably the easiest one.
No.
You know, again, depending upon what exactly it is you were gonna do. You know, I can't really say much more than
But I thought that when I talked to Mark told me is suppose the conservation board member will tell me where I can put the dog. And you tell me it's not like I want to put anywhere I want. You will tell me where I can put.
Well, indeed,
Not the case.
indeed.
Looking at the site though, I mean, he's gotta come in front of us no matter what the
Since you don't
dock.
have a filing or anything,
This is all speculative.
But I do wanna prepare him that if he comes in with the dock, in terms of getting down to the dock, is with us in terms of if he's changing it to create staircase down there,
mean,
that's
true.
gonna be,
The
I mean,
access.
we've been to walking the site with you, Mr. Lee, and I mean, to get down to a dock is something that, you know, it's gonna require some drastic work, and then you're definitely gonna be in front of us for that portion of it as well. So I'm not saying we're negative to it, I'm just saying
Okay,
you're gonna have to file for
How
that.
much chance I can get approved for the back of the parking? I mean, at the building. What will make you say no? What will make you say yes? I mean,
If you
and I told you.
present us with a good plan, it could get approved.
as long as it meets all the bylaws.
Yeah, but you talk about the calculation. I don't know what kind of calculation you need. I mean, right?
I think your engineer's gonna have to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's calculations regarding if you renovate versus you remediate, and how much impervious surface you can do within the 200-foot, like 10% altered, but that depends again on whether you're renovating or all this other, it's all stuff, I read it, but it's like, I don't even completely understand it.
And I have to believe the stormwater management is gonna be part of it too.
Yes, right,
which
right.
is-
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't,
but I thought I told you I use cautious stone. There's the water, just natural water. I mean, come down.
yeah, so that you might be able to remediate it that way, I don't know.
Right?
Okay, so,
There's no pavement.
all right, so we've got to move on. You know, if you want to come into the office and talk about it
Yeah.
some more, you know,
Sure.
before you move forward, I understand, you know, it is a big financial commitment. All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
is 24 Main Street the next one?
Yes, 24 Main Street. So, I see we've got some people on from the engineering company.
Brad Dorr here, with your architects.
Yep, hi Brad, and we've got Dan on, right?
Yeah, hi Mike, how you doing?
Hi. So,
How are you, Donovan, from Dorley Years School?
hi. So,
Lori Suarez here from Vertex as well.
okay,
And Steve Thorne with Vertex also. Thank you.
okay. All right, so just to bring up the rest of the commissioners up to date, since our last meeting, I did a requested site visit to look at the erosion controls being placed along the exit part of the driveway that's within town borders of the high-end junior high school. So I approved the positioning of the erosion controls there, hay bale, silt fence, and sock. And then I spoke with Dan of WT Rich, and they wanted to start the cutting into the hot top of the driveway. And so I agreed to issue an emergency order giving them 30 days to do that, which they did, and I think it's pretty much complete. So go ahead and tell us where we're at then.
Yep, the asphalt was cut, the water main's been installed, and we are tentatively scheduled to patch pave the trenches this Friday.
So, if I'm correct, that once you do that, all the work in Groveland that you need to do is done for quite a while, right? Oh, don't tell me I see.
Did we lose somebody?
Let's see. Hold on.
Dan, was that you speaking?
If you hover over him, does it say if he's muted?
No, it's pointing on Tom.
Okay, Tom, can you hear me?
There we go.
Still not, it's not,
We were talking in this one about there was the conditions that they were pulling in from the neighboring town.
yeah, right.
That's actually one of the things I wanted to just make a follow-up with. Rosemary was gonna send them over, but then
Well, they were
budgeting
supposed
being
to
what it
send them
was.
over to us.
Yeah, but budgeting being what it was, she's not available till.
Still can't hear them. let's see, oh, there it is. Here it is. It mutes okay.
Okay, we're back
We
on.
can hear you now.
Yeah, okay, sorry about that. So,
Well, let's go back to the original question was, with this, you're, at this stage, you're gonna be done for quite a while with the work you have to do within our town.
is that true?
Yeah, the work is completed. We don't really anticipate going up there again, at least not till after this school year is complete.
Great.
So where are we on the permit?
The building permit?
No, the conservation, the
Oh,
orders of condition, under the Groveland notice of intent, I guess.
But I think actually, Mike, this is Brad Orr.
Yep.
We're waiting, for you guys to issue your order of conditions. I know that the last time, you had them ready, you had West Newbury's order of conditions there, and you were going to evaluate, what, if any, of the West Newbury order of conditions you needed to maybe consider.
There was I believe it was like, was there 19 items or something like that? And we just wanted to hear what they were. I think that was the main thing, because last time we didn't have them. And I still haven't seen them. And that is partially our issue, not our fault, but because of budgeting, we don't have Rosemary here. Is it possible you could just let us know either briefly or just list through them, the ones that we're incorporating from West Newbury?
So I think that those were, I know that those have been sent over to you.
I sent those over after the last meeting. I wonder if they didn't get to you.
Did you send them just to Rosemary?
Likely, yes.
Yeah, that's probably why.
We have budget problems in terms of just internally that Rosemary, we can't afford her until after this
Well,
coming up right now.
she should be here, but Rosemary's been out.
I was not aware of that, so my apologies.
No,
Should I send
we're not faulting you in the slightest. I just wanted to know if you had them there, could you just read them to me or at least
Yeah,
brief,
it probably will take a while.
at least give us an idea of what they cover so that we know what we're incorporating?
Well, because we'd like to take a vote.
Yes, I want to do that too. That's what I'm saying.
She can send them to me and I can send them to you. My
Okay.
phone if you want.
Well, I guess we can send those again. I don't know if it would make sense to try and,
Read
pull those
them.
up. And,
Are they long? I mean, I have no idea.
There's 19 of them, and some of them are
It could be.
fairly detailed in terms of what they're considering.
Yep.
I think it was only on item 19 that you were.
Okay.
Let's go with that one.
What was that one?
Again, Mike.
Say that again, sorry.
Could you tell us item 19?
Maybe it's just me that can't hear Mike.
No,
No,
Mike.
I cannot hear him either.
I can't either.
Who's,
This is kind of what happened last time. We had sent them out, and then they got lost somehow in the shuffle, and then we sent.
I can email them now if you can.
I have my phone. I said
Well,
you could send
you
them to me
can-
and I could forward them
can
to
you
you
hear me
guys so
now?
you could see them.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
if item 19 is the item that you think is particularly applicable to us, just give us a general idea of what item 19 relates to.
I will
Well-
pull it up right now.
Why don't we do this, right? Because I think right at the moment, because Mike, you've been helpful in allowing us to get the E&S in place and giving us the emergency relief there to get the water line in. Why don't we go ahead and send you, the entire package, right? And then what you can do is evaluate those, and maybe, between now and your next meeting,
That's fine, either
discuss
send it to you or
those
me, I'm
with
fine.
you prior to the meeting. And then, you kind of have the, in like full disclosure, you have everything that's been out there, to, the other Conservation Commission as well. I mean, because, you've been helpful in getting us to where we are right now, as Dan said, we're not in any, crazy rush, but we would like to try and, wrap it up. But I think that might be, in interest of your time and other things that you have on the docket tonight, might be the most expeditious approach.
If you, if I give you my email address, can you send it to me, and then I will forward it to everybody else that's on our commission?
Okay, you're kind of breaking up. We can't really hear you, but
He was asking if you could send it to his email address, and then he'll distribute to the commissioners.
Yes, I'd be glad to. You need to give me the correct email address so I can get it to the right place, though.
Okay, it's JOHN
JOHN
at, the letter K is in kangaroo, the word and, A-N-D, the letter G is in garden, the word law, and that I'm a lawyer, .com. So it's KANDGLAW.com.
All right, we will send it out.
I will take care of it from there, I promise you.
Okay.
I only have one request.
What's that?
Is that perhaps on the next meeting, could we get to be number one on your docket?
Absolutely. I am sorry that we're at this stage. I think we're all want this to move forward. So
As a West Newbury resident, I'm always interested in what's happening in Groveland. However, these are long.
I am aware. I have no interest in continuing this, and I think we can do that.
All right, so I'll make a motion to
I
continue
I actually have one,
Yep.
have one question.
okay,
The email address is john@knlaw.com.
Yes.
And I'm addressed to Mike Dempsey.
no, John,
I'm one of the board members. If you want to send it to Mike, I'm sure that's fine too, but he has a lot more,
letters in my,
he has other business that he attends to. Mine's proprietary to me.
Rosemary is supposed to be in tomorrow, so,
I will get it to her. I promise you. I will do this for,
And we'll address the email to John, just John.
that's fine. I will,
We're on a first name basis now.
yes,
right.
and I will, when I forward it to the other members of the people, I will also CC in whoever sends me the email. So
Okay.
everyone will have it.
Good.
so
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you very much.
we apologize for the mix-up.
No problem.
All right.
So we'll send it over.
I'm glad the emergency got you going forward at
Yeah,
least,
right,
so,
yeah, I gained a few points. there.
yeah. Okay, enjoy
All right.
your night.
So, I'll move.
Second.
To, continue
Continue.
to August meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yep, okay, unanimous.
Great.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. Have a good night.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Now we're on to either 6 Stonebridge, 173 Main, or 1 Apple Blossom. Let's see, is anyone here? Let's see, somebody's outside, unless he,
Let me see
Fell
who's
asleep.
outside.
yeah, ask him what his address is.
Okay.
Oh, I see, Russ DeFazio's here too.
What's your address?
6 Stonebridge.
Yeah,
You're
Yeah.
next up, so you're in. Perfect, let me grab my water.
Guys are discussing big things, I'm just a little guy.
we're sorry.
No, you're fine, it's no problem. How you guys doing?
Are you building a bridge across the Merrimack, or what are you doing?
Helicopter platform floating in the middle of the river.
That's fine. Approved.
Second.
All right, yeah, let's see.
Just joking for everyone who's listening, so.
This is for 6 Stonebridge Road, putting a built-in pool within 100 feet.
Okay.
I do have the plans.
And Mike, I did a couple of extra drawings if people want to look.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how many, so I made 5 packets.
Oh, okay, sure.
That's enough.
Unfortunately, we can't give them to the people.
Sorry, guys. This is the letter we sent, the abutters list, and copies of all of the mailings that we did, as well as I did my horrifically horrible drawing of our plot, and then sort of blown up around the house where we were thinking about putting the pool. And Mike, did you need the originals of them? Sorry, of all the
Green
mailings?
cards.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I made you copies.
Oh, they're
part of the
there?
packet. Yep.
Yep, we got copies, good. Is anyone else here on 6 Stonebridge? In terms of, from the remote?
I don't think so.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, that's okay.
And my apologies for the artwork, once again.
Okay. Why don't you tell us what you want to do?
So, we want to put in an in-ground pool in our backyard. We have a son on the autism spectrum that doesn't function very well within large school and public environments, but he's a big fan of the swimming pool. So we'd like to put in a pool for him. He's going to be with us for a while. And we've tried the Bradford Swim Club and the YMCA, and loud noises and confined spaces aren't good for him. But we didn't want to deny him one of his most enjoyable experiences during the summertime. So we'd like to put in a rectangle pool in the backyard. As you can see here, I'm sorry for the folks that are not live with that I have a picture of the plot. The yellow line is the outline of our land, and then the orange is our fenced-in backyard. And the green is the house. So if you go to the next plan, I superimposed over it sort of a larger of the inset, and then on the last one, I expand out. That's inside that orange fence, the house, and where we'd like to put the pool is in that back area here. Strange to see myself in delay on the screen.
Can you show me on the bigger map, just so I know what you're looking at, which is yours between the 2 houses that are here? Is this you, or is this you?
This is us here, yep.
Okay, so you're gonna put
So-
this is already here, the deck. So
Correct. So if you look at the house here, what this proposed was, this is the sunroom here,
Okay,
and then the deck is here, but the deck doesn't have stairs here. The stairs are actually here, and it's actually much closer. It's right up against
okay,
this line here. So they never built it this way. They built it tucked in here. So the fence, as you can see, goes, can't tell on here, but I can show you, this might help actually. This one here, if I can just show you that real quick. So that's how the fence currently is here. And that's what that fence there looks like.
Okay.
Okay, so the pool, this is shadowed, so it's hard to see, but the pool is approximately
can we draw on this?
here.
Okay,
So it's, I don't know if you can, kind of,
Yeah.
it's tucked in right here in this corner, as close as we can get to this fence.
this would be
So it's approximately
right here, yep.
right along the edge of the house. There's a fence about, I guess about right here, and then it's just tucked in as close as we can.
Okay, this is 86, that's 84.
No, those are not, distances, those are,
Grade,
grade.
grade, yep.
There's the wetland buffer there. So, I went out and measured it, Rosemary went out and measured it. I can tell you that the edge of the pool will be no less than 50 feet away from
Okay,
okay?
so this edge of the pool is gonna be no less 50 feet away
Plus,
from
it's
there.
fenced in, you
Okay.
know,
Yep.
and there's this rock wall that's there, so.
And it's
pretty
flat
protected.
as a pancake
Yes,
too.
right,
Yeah.
right. The main thing is that he is compliant with the bylaw as far as what he's trying to do.
Yep.
Being outside of the 50-foot.
Yep.
So he didn't need to file with DEP, just
Yep.
with us. So based on what I saw, I would recommend we approve it.
Is there anything else I can show you?
Nope, I just wanted a clearer idea from
Oh, of course.
then, I mean, it's lovely, but I mean,
I appreciate, I was doing, Mike said, do your best to explain what you guys are doing. And like I said, I'm not that much of an artist, but.
it's residential, which are different standards than what
Of
we were
course.
discussing about there. I just want you to be aware of that.
Oh, sorry, that was
So-
yours, I apologize.
No, thank you, thank you.
Do we need to worry about the digging as to where he's gonna put the,
How's the contractor gonna get back there? What is he planning on doing, do you know?
So, I have to come back, sorry. So here on the front, the fence is here along the front of the house.
Uh-huh.
If you look in front of it, there's fence here,
Uh-huh.
and there's a large gate here. He's just bringing in a small digger. He'll come up my front lawn
Oh,
Okay.
and come through the gate in the front.
Nice.
okay, and he's gonna remove the soil, I presume, and not store it somewhere within that area, or
Yeah,
what's
he
doing?
will, I think I think I might have him dump a little bit in the back, but it's over here. Does that
Okay.
matter? It's away from there, and it's all native soil.
Yep.
So, I can have him remove it.
Mike, what do you think?
Are you gonna keep it for,
No, he's not, I don't think he's gonna keep it, but he's gonna dig and he's gonna put the soil over here is what he's thinking is, you know, or some of the soil over here. Probably just to flatten things out, or,
Yeah, because he's gonna have to,
Yeah.
when he pours the cement in,
Yeah.
he's gotta elevate a little bit to
Yeah.
flatten it out a little bit.
gotcha.
Yeah, so, I mean, any excess soil they can just remove.
right.
If he has any excess, he may not.
This is so flat though, I don't see that,
No,
that we
no.
need to worry
So
about.
really, the only question is, do you want him to put erosion controls, you know, on here? Where the fence is, basically.
Right. The fence itself is already, gonna act somewhat as an erosion.
Yeah, right.
And in the
That's
back here,
wrong.
there's all, stone retaining wall, where they built up when they originally built the property.
I don't see that it's gonna help to put erosion controls because of the, I mean, anything large is gonna be caught by the fence, so, I mean, what do you think?
I
I'm not here to
agree,
speak for everybody.
defer.
Tom or Fred, do you have an idea of what is going on here, or do you want us to describe it? Okay. Um, Is there any discussion from anybody else? Should we make a motion?
Yeah, you can make a motion.
Are you comfortable with the plan, or what are your thoughts?
I'm comfortable with the plan.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we allow the construction of an in-ground pool to the back of the residence, with the pool to be no closer, or to be outside the 50-foot border, with a surrounding fence that will act as a barrier, and also act as, to an extent, as an erosion control, with no further erosion control necessary. And that dirt be removed off the site,
Excess dirt.
excess dirt being removed off the site, other than is necessary to elevate the edge of the pool, as indicated by the applicant.
Okay,
Second.
second that. Any further discussion?
How does our, Julie, let us know when, does that, any of that, you got all that, or?
Yeah.
You are the fastest writer known to mankind.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Yep, unanimous.
you're set to go. Thank you for coming.
Awesome, thank you, guys, I appreciate it.
We'll send it out to you. Is Rosemary sending them out, or what's she doing? So, yep, you'll hear from us.
Awesome, thank you guys very much,
Okay.
have a wonderful night. I'll send you a picture
Thank
of
you
our
for
son
coming.
swimming, how's that sound?
Great,
Have a good night now.
bye.
Okay, next we have,
Do you want this again?
173 Main Street. This is Eric Holmstrom. There's nobody else outside, is there?
I'll take a look. I don't think there's anybody else here. There's Jason and Russ from the looks of things.
Yeah. Eric? No.
Phone's out there.
All right, we'll move on then to number 8.
What about that one?
Well, he's not here, so
Okay.
we'll,
Okay, let's do,
I'll
no, so
motion-
are we moving to adjourn it to the, or to,
No.
Continue?
no, we have one more. But I'll make a motion to.
no, I'm saying, what do we, yeah, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to table the hearing on 173 Main Street.
Second.
I'll second that.
Okay? Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yep, okay, unanimous. Okay, number 8 is 1 Apple Blossom Way. This is for an above-ground pool and surrounding deck, I believe, that's no closer than 50 feet to the wetland area, resource area. So we've got Russ DeFazio from 1 Apple Blossom Way. Hi, Russ.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, thanks for putting up with us for so long.
That's no problem. It's very interesting, kind of.
I'm wondering if I need to, I represent on unrelated matter 3 Apple Blossom Way.
Oh, no,
Okay, so I don't have to,
no,
okay, recuse myself?
no. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Okay, so Russ, tell us what you want to do. Take off this mask.
So we're looking to install a round 18-foot pool behind our house within 50 feet of the wetlands, as well as a deck. What? Further than 50 feet from the wetlands. Sorry, my
Yep.
bad. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yep.
And then the decking is like a two-level decking from the first story of our house with stairs down to another deck that would go to the outskirts of the pool, but would not go further out than the edge of the pool itself. So it'd be well within, it would be well above 50 feet anyway.
Okay. So is the deck on the side of your house, or is this on the back of your house?
It's on the back side of the house. It's all on the back side of the house.
On the back side. Yeah, and so this is, to put in the deck, they're just gonna put posts in the ground, right?
Yes, that's correct, yeah.
So there's really no, other than the holes for the posts, there's no excavation, because it's an above-ground pool, so.
But the deck, if he's got
Yeah,
one story up,
basically,
he's
I mean,
gotta
they
put
might
a
have
huge
to
footprint
skim
down
a
there
little
of
bit
4-foot
to
square.
level the
It's-
ground, but
he's
that's
gotta
about it. For the pool, but nothing with the deck, yeah.
All they do is put the,
Footings
Yeah,
in.
If you're up a flight, you have to put in a foot, the pillar, but it has to have a 4-foot foundation underneath it. That's or it's 2-foot squares. They call it a Bigfoot or something like that.
really?
Yeah, and they try
Yeah, but-
doing that by hand digging, so.
Okay.
I'm,
So ask your question.
no, and he's gonna have to have a digger back there to put it, if he's putting the deck in, that's fine. I just wanna be aware that he's usually what they do is they have the excavator come out, put in the 800 foot cement footer to and then they bury it immediately, and then there's no excess dirt, but it's not
Yeah.
as simple as just digging a tube.
Yeah, no, okay.
Okay.
You're right. You
Okay,
happy
so-
with
So-
that? Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Russ.
Yeah, sorry, we couldn't really hear everything you said. What was this question?
Yeah,
Well-
John faded after the initial words, he faded all away.
Okay, so, John was asking about the excavation for the deck.
No excavation for the deck. 0.
You don't have to put a, base in, for
You have
the,
to put it, if you're going up a flight, I'm thinking that you have to have a 2-foot square base underneath the tube.
The
That you're
post.
going down 4 feet, if it's attached to the house. So you're gonna be digging out that to put that in, of course, but I'm assuming you're gonna have somebody dig it out and put it in, immediately bury it.
Yeah, I mean, he's still cutting out. I'm sorry, but basically there's just like going to be a few posts that they put into the ground to obviously hold up the actual deck.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Okay. Do we have to worry about erosion control? in this?
well,
So do you know, are they gonna use like say a 2-foot diameter, drill on a bobcat or something to go down and put the footing in and then the thing, or are they doing like a precast concrete? I think the concern John has is whether there's quote unquote excavation related to that, or if it's simply digging a certain X number of foot diameter hole to put the post on.
Yeah, it would be more like that. Yeah, it would not. They wouldn't. I don't think they have to bring in any machinery for that. They would just probably dig it out and then maybe put like a circular like cement thing that the post goes into or something like that. I don't know exactly how the contractors do it, but it wouldn't require any real excavation.
He's gonna have to do whatever the building inspector tells him to do, and he's gonna tell him
Oh,
to do
yeah.
that. He's gonna have to do that anyway. I'm just saying that it's kind of, usually what they do is they do it in one straight shot, because
Right.
they don't have an excavator.
our
out.
only question is, does he need erosion control?
Right, okay, that's fine. Yep.
And whether, and he's not gonna be bringing equipment.
No, so I would say he doesn't need them.
Okay.
Is it flat? Were you out there? Yeah, it is flat. One apple blossom is flat as a pancake.
Oh, yeah, I know where that is. Okay.
Okay.
You agree with that, Tom? No erosion controls?
Tom, are you there? Did you mute him again? No?
Can you hear me now, Tom?
That's fine.
Disconnected.
Yeah, I saw the thing spinning before, so that's what I was wondering.
Oh my gosh, I hate Zoom.
Getting a tech workout tonight. I'm impressed.
I'm failing miserably.
Or not. It's the program
It's
that
easier
is.
when we're all home.
I think it's your internet connection here.
Yeah, I can't,
Oh, yeah, that's what
I
Denise
can't
said
get
that.
online at all.
Yeah.
But I got a hard, I'm
You're
plugged in.
hardwired in?
I'm
Wow.
not even on wireless, but yeah, something's flaky here, boy, I don't know.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I've got a internet. I don't know.
Let's look at all the things that Tom, he has in the back on his computer.
Isn't that a nice, did you take that picture on the,
No, that's just a standard Windows background.
Whose signature is in the bottom corner?
That's the guy that took the picture.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Your icons are remarkably boring, I gotta say.
Yeah, I know.
Download
I
pictures
know.
from,
Amazon Music?
yeah, Acrobat Reader. Sign in to Nest.
Yeah.
Should we see how your temperatures are doing at the house, or?
Yeah. No, they're not in my house. That's at VZ
For the-
Park.
Oh, see, even more boring. Oh, man. You could have said it was from Vermont or something, you know, you have a place up there, you wanna check the temperatures out. But he's got Bank of America, Capital One, we know where he banks, Allegiant Air, how are those lights?
The site can't be reached.
Bugger.
Good lord.
No internet.
That's what the problem is.
Well,
The
can we
internet
call,
Brett,
died.
do you have any ideas? Or do you have issues over there? No, because you're just filming.
My phone was going in and out, but.
why don't you call, I mean, you can call Tom, and then that's enough for us, I mean, to continue this.
Oh, yeah, wow.
If that came
And
down
put
to
him
it.
on speaker?
Just have it close to a mic.
I see,
Let me see if I can
there's a whole lot of mic.
reconnect it.
I don't think I'd
actually
want
don't
my-
think I have
Guy
Tom's correct
behind
number,
me.
'cause
I don't think I'd want my head that large on the screen. Back to your icons. You look good, I'm not saying that. No one looks good that big.
do you want me to call Tom?
Call Tom,
Yeah, we just
On
need to
his-
vote.
yeah. I think the,
Sheesh. Well, I'm glad this didn't happen before.
oh
At
God,
least we're like right down to the end.
yeah.
But it just timed out, usually.
I don't know, it just,
Usually,
Unable to
when you're on
connect, yeah.
Zoom meetings for like a little while.
Yeah,
they-
no.
They Zoom, they go out.
no, that isn't the problem. It's
Oh.
the internet is
Oh.
like gonzo.
But that's fine, if we get Tom, then, I mean, I think we're good with the hearings and we can close them out, because, I mean, it sounded like we were pretty much on our way with that one. Start, there's a start, your start is blue again.
Yeah. That's all I get. It doesn't connect.
Who needs anything else other than Mike's face?
Hey, this is Stephanie calling
Connecting.
from the Conservation Commission. We were just gonna try to hook you up via cell phone so that we could vote, but I can't reach you. Sorry, thank you. Call me back.
Did you call his cell?
I tried both.
Uh,
People don't answer. Let me try to text him.
I'd call him my mind, but I left my phone at home for the first time in like, what?
2834.
yeah, the internet is gone.
Okay, well, I think in this case, and we can just, if we can get one of them on the phone, I mean, we could try Fred.
We'll put you.
He could write, "Call me, baby," and see what he says.
It's an invalid number, this number. It's the second time I've tried to text him.
Fred? Or
No,
No, Tom.
Do you have Tom's number on your cell? Mike?
Tom?
Yeah,
Or I can call Fred.
Let's see.
572.
Tom Schaefer. 374-3118.
try it and just put him on speaker, and we'll just keep it very brief.
Oh, so, okay. You want to do yours? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, so this is, okay.
Oh, what's the blue thing?
That's a hole punch.
Wow, you're fancy.
hello?
Hi, this is Tom. Please leave a name and a number, and I'll call you back.
No.
Send him a text from there.
I did, I just sent them a text.
Do you have his cell phone number?
Yeah.
978-284-28.
No, I have the 508 number.
2834, the 2834 number, is that the cell number?
I
Because
think
that
so.
does not go through.
Oh, yeah,
It's
then,
invalid.
oh, yeah, that's not correct then.
So where in Alaska did you get your outfit? Is it Ketchikan or Situate or?
This?
Yeah.
Oh, my sister-in-law went to Alaska and she brought it back for me.
Oh, cool. So,
Let's see if we can reach Fred.
You got it?
I got his mobile, you got his mobile number, Fred?
Yeah.
508. All we need is just for him to take a vote on this so we can close it out. With
Yeah.
the rest of the business, we don't
that's
need a majority.
Perfect, near again. 721-097.
Call Bill and get him, and then.
Yeah, where's Bill? Bill was gonna try to Zoom
He was
in.
talking to somebody in
I'm never
Australia.
doing Zoom again. That's it.
The last Zoom we
I
did
thought
was
we were all
remotely,
supposed to
it was
be in here
awesome.
anyway.
Yeah, but that
Good.
was from my home.
Yeah,
I have more trouble with this laptop with Zoom.
That's not gonna
It's-
answer either.
ugh, it's terrible.
Hey Fred, this is Stephanie calling from Town Hall. Give me a call back so that we can try and vote. Thank you.
They probably went to bed.
can we swear him in as a Conservation Commission member, then?
No.
Fred,
He's
this
heard
is
all
so
that.
much fun.
Huh.
572-1097.
All right, so, and let's try to finish up, and then if we can, so on that, this, apple blossom, right?
Yep.
No erosion controls?
Do you think it needs it?
I don't think
It's
so.
flat as a pancake, I
Right.
remember that whole area, so.
Right,
Isn't this the one who he wanted to build the garage?
Yes, he's the one. He's
yeah.
the one, yes.
Okay, so I know who he is.
memories.
so.
yeah, it's that first house on.
Yeah, but we went there and he was like, didn't think you needed to come in front of us for building a garage, I remember that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was like 1 foot away from the other person's land
Yeah.
or something, and he had to put it on the other side, and his wife was mad because
Yeah.
they didn't want people to walk through the dining room to get into the garage. I don't know, did he ever add it on? Did you go into the house?
Yeah, he did that.
He did
We-
put the garage
We
on?
permitted it.
Yeah, we did eventually permit it, but it was, he just didn't think you needed to come in front of us, and we said, yeah, you do, and then we did. I represent 3, which is on the other side of this, where this pool is. I represent someone who's buying 3, actually.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah,
but whatever.
Tom's gonna call.
yeah, great.
All right, so you want me to come over there?
It doesn't matter.
Just put him on speaker.
Yeah. Well, but close to the mic, you said, Brett?
No, oh, your mic.
My mic?
No one can seem to hear me from mine, so.
Oh,
maybe
mine's,
it's- Am I mumbling? Oh, I'm sorry.
sorry.
No, I think it's just,
Those only go to this,
Oh,
we go to the computer.
okay.
Okay, so I do have to go stand by mic?
no,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. You guys dropped from the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing is gone.
All right, so here, Brett, like
The
just,
rest of us are all on. We're just waiting for you to click.
Oh, no,
It's internet connection for the town.
the internet connection got lost here. Let's see, maybe I can get back on.
any mic, any mic.
oh, any mic is good, not Mike Dempsey?
Going up to the stair, that's all, right?
Everybody except you, Stephanie.
Okay.
I was working my way down the list. So John and Mike.
We're trying to finish up the hearing portion of the meeting, and so far we've sort of discussed the fact that on this last one, whether we needed erosion control, to your input on that.
So I know the property is right down the street from me. It's fairly flat.
Yep.
Right.
I wanted to ask them, but I didn't ask them because I said I want to wait for the rest of the people to come on. I just wanted to see if they were cutting any trees down or anything, because their backyard has a lot of trees, but that doesn't. I'm looking at a Google image from whatever a
Yep.
year or 2 or 3 ago. That was my only question or concern. It is a fairly flat lot, and I'm assuming way behind the house is where the wetlands are, based on what I know of the area. But,
Me too. They are. I remember this guy came in front of us before for a garage, if you recall that.
Yeah. So the picture I'm looking at doesn't actually show the garage.
Right.
So whatever I'm looking at is fairly old then.
But I think what we could do is build that into, if we do an approval, we can build it in that, any trees larger than, say, whatever, 6 inches have to require,
I don't think he's cutting any trees.
okay. Then fine.
I mean, I can ask him if I'm allowed.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, because I can't do anything
Well,
with this.
he
crazy-
said they're all still on Zoom.
No,
We're
but-
all on the meeting. It's just you guys that went away.
Why don't you talk
Oh.
to, ask him if there's any trees he's cutting down.
Okay, hang on. Let me ask.
This is so crazy.
No, we can get this done, then we're done.
Yeah.
Russ? Yep. So, they lost they're wondering, and I was actually.
There's a meeting without us being there.
Hey guys, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you hear us?
Good. Yeah, so I just talked to them. They're not going to take any trees down.
Okay,
I put
good.
you on speakerphone. Sorry, my speakerphone.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Thank
I
you.
think we're set to vote if you are.
Yeah, I'm all set. You know what? Let me unmute so they can possibly hear us.
Okay, that's fine.
Hello, Russ, are you there? Okay, so I have my phone near my microphone and I have it on speakerphone, so we're going to take a vote.
Russ, can you,
I don't know if
I don't know if you
you
can
hear
hear us. We're at the, we're obviously at the town, but the internet here is dropped out. So what we're doing is, we've got Tom as, that's the 4 members that we're gonna vote on this issue. I think it looks as though we're just gonna approve it without erosion control. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
And that there's, given how flat the surface is, and just approve it as is. So I'm gonna make a motion that we vote to allow the building of a
Above ground pool.
above-ground pool and a 2-tier deck to be at the rear of the property, no closer than 50 feet. No closer than 50 feet from the protected area without any erosion control.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed?
Did Fred say aye?
It's still on there?
Yeah, Fred said aye.
Okay,
He-
unanimous.
second.
Then it's
Second and
unanimous. And while you're still here, I'm going to move that we close the hearing portion of today's meeting
Yep.
at 9:15 PM.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we're going to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Anyone opposed? Tom, you're going to have to tell us if Fred says aye, yes or no.
Yeah, Fred said aye.
Okay, so that closes the hearing portion of today's meeting.
Okay, the next thing,
So we're all done with the Fazios, correct?
yes.
Correct.
Okay, let me put you on hold. Let me talk to them for a second.
Okay.
So the next thing we're gonna do is approve the minutes from June 10.
Okay.
Do you need a set? I have them.
I took a glance, but I took a glance online. That's cool. Thank you.
Did you see
I
me?
went all through them with a fine tooth comb, so
Nothing at all.
You
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
I didn't look at them. I saw you sent it over, but I forgot to print that out.
Oh,
No, it's okay.
You want them? I have a
No,
set.
I believe you. You're a better typist than I will ever be.
We're gonna have to have a meeting in August, unfortunately.
Yeah, we got to approve this thing for the school, even if it's short.
And we had another filing for the DeHulu's, a filing for their water line on Washington Street.
Okay, yep.
So
Yep, that is what it is, but we'll try and keep it.
that's
short.
August 12th.
August 12th.
Next time, we're gonna do in person,
Yes.
Yeah,
totally.
okay. Tom, let us know when you're back, if you can hear us.
So the 2-tier
Okay,
deck is gonna be built 50 feet
Tom, are you
away.
here?
Yep.
Okay.
We
So-
can hear you, John.
What's that?
They can hear you.
Oh, good. Okay. I think we're done with the hearing portion, so we're gonna talk about, the minutes, actually, approving the minutes. Did you have any changes?
I have no changes to the minutes. Fred, do you have any changes to the minutes? Did you guys hear him?
No,
He was good.
Okay,
okay, thank you.
then I think we're gonna
Make a motion.
make a motion to approve the minutes for, what's the date?
June
June
10th.
10th.
June 10th, 2020, as written up. Any second on that?
Oh, second.
Hey, look at that, we got a second.
All in
All
favor?
in favor, say
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay,
Unanimous.
Minutes are done.
All right, the last thing is those two documents that I sent out, the updates to the,
Step-by-step
updates.
guide in the,
So, I just want to explain something here. So, the main change was
which one are you
this.
talking to?
The, what permit do I file for?
You
okay?
added the whole request with the mass.
Well,
That's not-
what I did was separate out, make it simpler for a single-family home filing versus other stuff. So, if you see, you can come in and file a GRDA if you are between 75 and 100 feet away from a wetland resource.
Yep.
But you can't if you are an industrial, a commercial, a subdivision, or multifamily house. You have to file a GRDA with an RDA.
Gotcha.
And the only difference is that for an RDA, we have to fill out the Mass DEP forms, and they have to advertise.
Okay, so that's why you added that second section.
Yeah,
is-
to
okay.
differentiate, because we were not requiring anybody to advertise for RDA, and it kind of went against DEP's rules. So this now, I believe,
Clarification.
better complies with DEP rules. And you see the difference, the two differences that we have is that a homeowner can file a GRDA if they're between 75 and 100, and they can file a GNOI if they're between 50 and 75 without having to file with DEP, because that's fine. The
Okay.
only time you've got to file with DEP is if you are closer than 50 feet, or if you're a commercial or subdivision.
Okay.
So that's the difference.
Brilliant.
And this was in effect for the last 5 years, so a lot of the emails, phone numbers were incorrect, a few other things, but that was the rest of the change.
You don't want to keep a Yahoo address? I hope your email is not Yahoo.
And the changes on the step-by-step guide, again, were only really for the phone number and email and web links that are there.
You did change on number 7, you took off your building permit sign-off sheet. which
Oh,
would
yeah.
normally be
We
signed
used to have
This time, yeah.
sign-off forms that we had to do, which was a pain in the neck.
And under 11, you changed the project to the request.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
the only thing I could find that were different. Okay. Great.
So, I'm going to make a motion that we approve these two documents as submitted.
I'll
The
second that.
step-by-step guide and what permit do I file for.
Seconded.
Okay. What these go up on the internet, on our website, so.
Good.
Yep, and you can send them to me at my Yahoo. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we'll take a vote. All in favor of these documents being approved, say aye.
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 Okay,
Anyone opposed?
all right.
Hearing none?
Unanimous.
Right.
All right, so, Tom and Fred, our next meeting will be August 12, because we've got two things on the agenda.
So August 12th is the next meeting?
Yeah,
Yes. I'm gonna send, assuming that they sent me the stuff to my email, I didn't bring my phone, so I can't look on it, but I'm assuming that they, regarding the school project, that they sent it out, the, items 1 through 19, and I will forward that to everybody, as soon as I see it, probably tomorrow morning. I'm just
Okay.
letting you know that you'll be getting an email from me,
okay.
okay?
And Rosemary is supposed to be in tomorrow, so,
Okay, I'm also gonna, they said they had it in a PDF form, so I'm gonna scan it and make it a Word document, because I have a program that'll do that.
that's
and it'll
right,
make
that's
it
right.
instant.
They only had the PDF.
Yeah, so, but I have a Russian program that converts it like instantly, it's amazing.
Okay.
Oh, Russian program.
It is.
Yeah,
They're probably
so,
hacking me, but Great
I,
program.
just as a note, I had a discussion with Rosemary, and I want her to, work on a couple of projects. One is to continue the Bulge Ave, trail project with
Great.
the fourth grade with Bill.
Yep.
And the other one is to work on enforcement procedures and, general enforcement issues with Stephanie.
Excellent, thank you.
Those will be her two big projects, which, might last for 6 months or even a year.
Awesome. Thank you for volunteering.
I'm thrilled.
Yes,
Can I move to adjourn?
I think so.
Tom, you have any other business you want to talk about, or Fred?
No, I would just like to second the adjournment.
Wait,
Call
did-
for acclamation. Okay, we have a first and a second on
All in
adjourning.
favor of adjournment
Aye.
at 9:25 PM?
Aye.
Aye.
We'll see you in August.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye, thank you. Bye, Fred.